Thank you. A question from the Straits Times. Negotiations over a code of conduct within the South China Sea appear to have stalled over the last few years because it was initially meant to have been completed by the end of this year. Analysts are now saying that this is increasingly unlikely because of a range of issues, including China's opposition towards Southeast Asian countries having military operations, military exercises with countries that aren't within the region, and also there are issues about whether or not the code is going to be legally binding. So my question is, do you feel like parties can overcome these differences, and do you feel like the code should be legally binding? Thank you.
海峡时报，南海行为准则有关谈判在过去这些年进展十分缓慢，原本预计在今年年底能够结束，但是在东南亚与域外国家开展联合军演、准则法律效力等问题上分歧犹存。您认为相关国家能否克服这些分歧？准则是否应具有法律效力？
提起这个问题，我首先想到的是
On this
南海各方
issue,
行为
what
宣言。
first comes into my
今年
mind
是
is that
宣言签署
this year
20
marks the 20th anniversary
20年来
of the
中国
signing of the
跟东盟
Declaration
各
on the
国
Conduct of Parties in the South
共同落实
China Sea.
宣言的
Over the
各项
past 2
规定，
decades, China and ASEAN
保持了
countries have jointly
南海局势的
implemented the
总体。
DOC and have ensured the overall
这应该
stability in the
首
South
先
China Sea.
充分的肯定。
This
当然，要
deserves,
实现南海
first
的
and
长治久
foremost,
安，
our recognition.
我们需
But
要
of
达
course,
成
for lasting peace
更
and
加具有
security
实
to
质
take
内容
hold in the South China Sea,
更为
it
行之
is
有效的
necessary to
一些
form
规则
regional rules that
也
are
就
more
是要
substantive
有一个
and more
宣
effective.
言的升级版。
That is to say, we need
为此，
an
各
upgraded
方
version of the DOC.
在当年签署宣言的时候
Therefore,
就明确
when signing the
要把制
DOC,
定
the
南
parties
海
made it
行为
clear
准则
in the
作为我们
DOC
的
that
长远目标。
adopting a code of conduct in the South China
我们
Sea
看到中
shall
国
be the
同东
eventual
盟各国
objective.
启动准则磋商以来，
Since China and
已经
ASEAN
取得了
countries
很多
launched
积极进
consultations
展。
on the COC,
这两
much
年
has
主要
been
是因为疫
achieved
情的
due to the pandemic of the past 2 years.
磋商进程，
The consultation process
步伐慢
has
下来。
been indeed
但
somewhat
是
slowed.
中方，我们对达成准
Nevertheless,
则的前景
China
始终是充满信心。
still has full
因为推
confidence
进准
in
则
the
磋商
prospect of
符
finalizing
合
the
中国
COC.
同东盟各国
Our
的共同
confidence
利益，
comes from the fact
也是
that
确保
advancing
南海
COC
成为
consultations
和平
serves
合
the
作之
shared
海
interests
关
of
键
China and ASEAN countries and is a crucial
准
step
则不
to
仅
ensure that the
将
South China
符
Sea
合
becomes
包
a
括
sea
联
of
合国海
peace
洋
and
法公约在内的
cooperation.
国际法，
The COC will not only be
也
in
将
line
为
with the international
域外
law,
国家的
including
合法
UNCLOS,
权益
but also
提供
provide a more
更为有
effective
效的
safeguard for the lawful rights and interests
现在
of
磋商已
countries
经进入
outside
到
the
一个
region.
关键的阶段，
As the consultations enter a crucial
我们
stage,
希望
I
各方
believe
重视并处
it
理好
is
两件事情。
important for both sides to pay attention to and
首
handle
先，
well
第一是
two
要正确
things.
的看待分歧，
First, we need to put
任
our
何磋商
differences
谈判
in perspective.
都会有不同的意见。
Divergent views might appear
那么，
in any
准则磋
consultation
商
or
也是同样。
negotiation. That is the same
但是
for
只
the
要
COC
各方
consultation
牢
as
记我
well.
们的目标是一致的，
As long as all parties keep in mind
就没有
that
任
we
何
share
分
the
歧
same
不可以
goal,
弥合，
no
也没有
differences
什
cannot
么
be
共识
bridged,
不
and
能
no
达成。
consensus is beyond reach.
第二件事就是要
Second,
坚决排除干扰。
We need to firmly thwart
我们看到某些域外
disturbances.
国家
Some
并不乐
countries
见
outside the
准则达成，
region are not
也
happy
不希望
to
南
see the
海风平
conclusion
浪
of the
静，
COC or
因为
tranquility
这样
in the South China
将
Sea,
使他们失去
because that would
插手
deny
南
them
海
the
谋
ground
取
to
私利的
meddle
借
in
口
the South China Sea for selfish
我
gains.
希望东盟各国
I hope
能够看清
that
楚这个，
ASEAN countries
我们共同
will
来
stay
抵制
clear-eyed
来自
about
外部
this
的任何
and
干
jointly
扰。
resist disturbances
相信
and sabotage attempts from
域外的逆
outside
流
with us.
掀不起
I am
南海的
confident
风浪
that no countercurrents
外部的干扰
created by
也
outside
挡不住
forces can make
并且
waves
合
in the
作
South China Sea, and no external disturbance could stand in the way of regional cooperation.